Well, since the OK Red schedule was released, Grandville at Rockford in the regular season finale has been pointed to as a game that could potentially decide the conference champ. And despite many challenges along the way, both the Bulldogs and Rams made it to this matchup without a loss, and it becomes our game of the week. Now, Rockford's dominated this series over the years, but it was Grandville that won this game by 27 last year. Tonight, there was no score into the second quarter, and that's when the Grandville defense came up big. Jake Kinsler forces the fumble. Amaris Bush picks it up, and he brings it all the way back to the 13-yard line. Bulldogs in business, and Marcel Love likes to do business. 8 yards, gets the corner, and into the end zone. Good start for the visitors. It was 8-0 after a two-point conversion. But Rockford would come right back after a nice kick return on the ensuing kick. It's Zach Ahern, one of the longer one-yard touchdown runs you'll see, dives in. We had an 8-7 game at the half. Third quarter, Rockford really goes to work. First possession in the second half, Ahern to Luke McLean, 15 yards on the slant, 14-8, home team. And then Ahern's going to get all kinds of time to throw it up to his tall target, Caden Curry, 6 yards on the score, 21-8 Rams. And the defense, which was dominant all night, would take it from there. Caleb Broderick, the sack, causes the fumble. Andrew Griffin with the recovery. Rockford, so impressive. 28-8 season. Zach Ahern and the Rockford offense continue to show improvement. Ahern just under 100 passing, 84 rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Grandville unable to do much on offense. They did run for 257 yards in the game, but the Rockford defense really the story of this one. We bring in Brett Bakita joining us from his house. And Brett, this one really had to raise your eyebrows because we didn't know what to expect from Grandville coming off, we didn't know what to expect from Rockford coming off 2 weeks of not playing, not even practicing. And I got to tell you, they were super impressive. Okay, apparently we don't have Brett Bakita. This is what happens when we get too much time to prepare. All right, so we're going to go to the sound bites. Let's hear from the Rams after their win over Grandville.
I mean, it really comes to accountability and our teammates. I mean, we work together, we feel like family, and our coaches prepared really well, and we came out with a W, so it was great.
Coach Cummings had us prepared every single day. We had to come out, a lot of energy in practice, and we just executed tonight.
So you guys have played 4 games. You won them all. Is it a conference championship?
In our book, it is. So we're going to celebrate it like it is, and we're going to enjoy this win for 24 hours, and next thing you know, playoffs are here, so we're ready to go.
Hey, Brett, there you are. What a game tonight. I mean, your alma mater was impressive, buddy. I got to tell you, didn't play for 2 weeks, didn't practice much. Defense, outstanding. Offense really coming along. I mean, they look like they've been just kind of cruising along all year. You wouldn't know it if you didn't know any better.
Well, very impressive, especially when you look at Brent Cummings, first-year head coach. I mean, they said everything throw at him in this season. And granted, he's been with the program for a while, but you lean on your assistant coaches and obviously the players. Fantastic. I didn't expect this much out of Rockford just because given the situation, but they have had Grandville's number a little bit defensively. They obviously came out. The kids were motivated to play, and this is nothing against Grandville. It's just a great win for Rockford. And, you know, what do you expect with games like this? It was kind of crazy all night long with some of these games, and I just give the coaches and the players a lot of credit for just getting out there, doing the best they can and playing, and this was obviously a big win for Brent Cummings in his first year and for Rockford.
Yeah, huge win. And so when we had Coach's Corner tonight with Coach Cummings, I started out by asking him how in the heck they pulled off a performance like this, considering they didn't have much time to practice or even play because they'd been off for 2 weeks.
Right after the game was how proud we were as coaches, you know, because 2.5 weeks off, you know, with virtually no practice, everything that we did prior to that 2.5 week comeback was all online. And, you know, the meetings that the coaches had prepared for these kids, the workouts, you know, everything that we did was on through a computer screen with me basically for our workouts, me sitting at a desk and, you know, talking to these kids, and to see them, you know, go through a 45-minute session workout through a computer and they're sweating like dogs. I mean, it just says a lot about their character and their desire to get back out here.
What was the difference in the second half? Because first half was kind of even. In the second half, you guys kind of controlled it. What was the biggest difference?
You know, the kids believed in the training that we had, and, you know, they started to think, yeah, you know what, this stuff, that the way that we worked, they felt proud of. I know these kids, you know, prepared on their own a little bit outside, and I think they just had a belief that what they had engaged in over the 2.5 weeks was working, and they knew that, okay, those sacrifices they made was going to pay off in the second half.
So, Brett, when we look at this going forward, Rockford 4-0, probably sewing up the 1 seed in that district. We don't know what's going to happen in that district. Hudsonville unable to play tonight because of COVID. East Kentwood unable to play. I don't know if we get 8 teams into the district, and if we don't, Rockford could be staring at a bye next week. Probably the last thing the Rams want, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you and I were talking about that. It's exactly right. I mean, after you have a game like that, you just want to keep playing every week that you can. And I feel like that's what coaches and players are kind of going through right now. And the crazy thing about this, if people are wondering, because the OK Red just kind of a mess with the schedule and what happened, it'll actually be, from what I understand, the athletic directors getting together to kind of decide what they do with this conference championship. Because yes, Rockford's unbeaten, but they haven't played as many games as other teams. You have Hudsonville that hadn't played Rockford. You had Jennison that hadn't played Grandville. I mean, it is crazy, but it's one of those, whatever they determine, it's just one of those years where you're just like, hey, congratulations to those teams who made it through and have a chance hopefully to play next week. And
one of those things we didn't get a chance to hear, but I asked Brent Cummings, I said, do you guys look at this as a conference champion? He said, we do. That's sort of how we feel. He goes, some people might not feel that way because they only played 4 games, and they might get a chance to see some of those OK Red teams they didn't play in the playoffs and kind of prove it again. But I got to tell you, they were so impressive tonight. Rockford over Grandville, 28-8.